All right, so we're getting ready for a choreographer interview, and we're going to deep dive into RoleCatcher's resources,
Yeah.
all their guides and stuff.
Yeah, it's like getting a masterclass to nail those questions and show off your skills, you know?
Oh, and RoleCatcher uses AI to tailor your answers and give feedback for specific jobs.
Right. Using AI is so important these days.
Okay, so let's get into it. These common choreographer interview questions RoleCatcher found.
Yeah.
They analyze tons of real interviews.
Yeah, they really want to see your experience and how you work.
So first up, can you tell us about your experience in choreographing large-scale productions?
Oh, yeah. They're not just looking for a list of shows you've worked on.
Right, right.
It's about managing all that complexity, coordinating people in different departments.
And staying on schedule?
Oh, absolutely. It can get crazy.
So how would you approach this question?
Well, think about specific examples where you really had to manage all that stuff.
Oh,
Like maybe a huge musical or a dance with all those set changes and lighting cues.
right.
Highlight how you handled it all and what you learned.
It's really about showing you can handle that pressure.
Yeah.
So what are follow-up questions?
Like what?
Like, what if they ask, tell us about a time you faced a major obstacle during a large production?
Oh, that's perfect to show you're a problem solver.
Uh-huh.
Like, did a dancer get injured right before opening night?
Oh,
Or
no.
maybe budget cuts forced a last-minute change?
Tough stuff.
Share how you dealt with it and how it turned out well.
Okay, question 2. How do you approach working with dancers who have different skill levels and abilities?
Oh, that's so important.
Right, because you're always working with a mix of dancers.
Absolutely. They want to know if you can get the best out of everyone, no matter their experience.
Yeah. So it's showing you're adaptable and can create a good learning environment.
Exactly. You could talk about how you figure out each dancer's strengths and weaknesses,
Okay?
and then you make choreography that challenges them but is still doable.
Gotcha.
Maybe share a story about how you helped a dancer with a tough move, or how you helped them discover a hidden talent.
That's great. And being able to communicate well is key,
Well,
right?
for sure, giving good feedback that helps them grow.
Okay, question 3. Can you walk us through your creative process when choreographing a new piece?
Ooh, this is where you show off what inspires you.
Yeah.
It could be music or art or nature or even like a feeling you had.
Interesting.
Talk about how you turn those ideas into movement.
So it's not just you working alone, right?
No collaboration is huge.
Yeah.
You got to talk about how you use feedback from the dancers and musicians and everyone.
So it's being open to different ideas.
Exactly.
What if they ask, tell us about a time when your initial vision for a piece changed significantly during the process?
That's where you can go with the flow.
Yeah.
Talk about how you adapted to those changes. Maybe the changes even made the piece better.
Good point. Okay. Question 4. How do you manage time effectively during rehearsals to ensure that everything is accomplished in a timely manner?
Time management is so important.
Definitely, especially with performance deadlines.
Right. They want to know if you can plan and keep things on track.
So how do you answer that?
Talk about how you make rehearsal schedules, and break down the choreography into parts,
And
keeping everyone informed about the schedule.
what about if they ask about a time you had to adjust the schedule last minute?
Well, share how you handled it.
Yeah.
Did you have to rearrange things, maybe get creative with limited time or space?
Makes sense.
The point is to show you can solve problems and stay positive even when things get tough.
All right, question 5. Can you tell us about a time when you had to adapt your choreography to fit a specific production or event?
This one's all about being flexible and resourceful.
So like what?
Maybe the stage was smaller than you thought, or the costumes had to change.
Yeah.
Pick a time where you really had to adapt and highlight the good things that came out of it.
That's a good point. What if they want more details?
Like what?
Like specific steps you took to adapt.
Oh, you can walk them through your thought process, how you talk to the dancers and all that.
Okay, question 6. Tell us about a time you had to give a dancer difficult feedback. How did you approach the situation?
Oh, this is about more than just choreography. It's about being a good leader.
Right, giving feedback that's honest, but still encouraging.
Exactly. Share a time when you had to give tough but constructive feedback.
And focus on helping them improve, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, question 7. How do you stay up to date with current dance trends and incorporate them into your choreography?
That's a good one because you need to stay relevant but also keep your own style.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You got to keep learning, go to workshops and see shows and follow other choreographers.
Okay.
But you also got to make those trends your own.
So it's like you're inspired by what's out there, but you don't just copy it.
Exactly.
Got it. Now, I'm curious about how RoleCatcher's AI works with all these questions.
Oh, yeah, that's where it gets really cool.
Like, it's more than just having the questions, right?
Yeah. Way more. It actually helps you tailor your answers for this specific job.
Wow. So, like, I could upload my resume and the job description,
Yep.
and it would tell me what skills to highlight.
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Amazing.
Huh.
We'll get more into that later, but we still have 3 more questions to go.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So question 8. How do you motivate dancers to push their limits and achieve their best performance?
Motivating people. That's a big one.
Especially in dance, where they're putting so much of themselves into it.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you say to this question?
Well, think about how you create a positive rehearsal space. Do you communicate openly and give good feedback?
Yeah.
And do you celebrate achievements?
Uh-huh.
Share those times when you've really motivated dancers,
Got it.
Maybe by focusing on their strengths or giving them a chance to grow.
Okay, what about those tricky follow-ups?
Mm.
Like what if they ask about motivating a dancer who's struggling or maybe lacking confidence?
That's a chance to show your empathy.
Yeah.
Share a time you helped a dancer one-on-one, maybe they had a tough technique or feeling insecure.
Right.
Talk about how you helped them overcome those things and build their confidence back up.
Okay, on to question 9. Can you give an example of a time when you had to make a difficult decision regarding casting or choreography that impacted a dancer or the production as a whole?
Oh, this one's about making tough calls, but
Yeah.
still being fair and professional.
Makes sense. So what kind of example should you use?
Oh, maybe you had to replace a dancer or cut a piece of choreography
Right.
or maybe change someone's role to better suit their skills.
You're showing you can make those decisions, but you do it with care.
Right, exactly. You got to explain why you made that decision and how you handled it with everyone involved.
All right, last question, number 10. How do you envision using technology in your future choreography?
This is looking ahead,
Yeah, they want to know you're thinking about the future of dance.
Exactly. It's about showing you're creative and excited about new possibilities.
So, like, what kind of technologies should you talk about?
Well, motion capture is a big one.
That's right.
It lets you create these super complex movements that would be really hard to do otherwise.
It's like you're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Right. Or you could talk about projection mapping or interactive lighting.
Okay.
Those can create these immersive experiences,
Right, like the stage becomes part of the performance.
Exactly. And don't forget about social media.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge for sharing your work and connecting with other artists.
But with all this tech stuff, it's easy to lose your own style, right?
It's a balance for sure.
Yeah.
You got to use these tools to enhance your vision, not let them take over.
Yeah, so it's like finding your own voice in this big digital world.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the questions now. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, your career as a choreographer.
RoleCatcher's career guide breaks it down into 3 phases.
Entry-level junior choreographer and senior choreographer.
Right, and each stage has its own challenges and opportunities.
Knowing those can really help you move forward in your career.
So let's start with entry level. What does it look like when you're just starting out?
Imagine you're fresh out of dance school, super excited to get going.
Yeah.
You're probably assisting more experienced choreographers learning the ropes.
So it's about building that foundation, honing your skills.
Right. And networking is so important at this
Wow.
stage.
Oh, yeah.
Go to workshops, take classes, meet people. Those connections can open doors.
Okay, so you've put in the time, you're ready to be a junior choreographer. What changes?
Now you're taking on more responsibility, maybe choreographing for smaller shows, even creating your own work.
So you're building your portfolio, finding your own style.
Exactly. And you're collaborating with other creative people like composers and designers.
What are some of the challenges at this level?
Well, finding your own voice can be tough,
Yeah.
You're surrounded by these amazing choreographers. It's easy to just imitate them.
Right. But you got to stay true to yourself.
Absolutely. And the business side of things can be challenging too.
Okay, and finally we reach senior choreographer. What makes them different?
The senior choreographer is a leader. They're overseeing the whole process,
Right, from the idea to the final performance.
Exactly. They have years of experience. They know the art form inside and out.
And they inspire others.
For sure.
So how do you actually move from one stage to the next?
RoleCatcher talks about continuous learning,
Yeah.
Keep taking classes, attend workshops, study dance history, all that stuff.
So you're always growing and evolving.
Exactly. And of course, experience is key. The more you choreograph, the better you'll get.
RoleCatcher also mentions showcasing your work,
Right. Build a portfolio, participate in competitions, maybe even organize your own shows.
And networking is still important, even as a senior choreographer.
Absolutely. Those relationships can lead to amazing opportunities.
Okay, so we've talked about career stages now. Let's talk about technology.
Yeah, it's changing everything.
So how is tech impacting choreography, and what should you know for this interview?
Well, technology is changing how we create and share and experience dance,
Give me some examples.
like motion capture. It's
Okay.
letting us create these super intricate movements that would be almost impossible for a human to do.
Right. It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. And then you have projection mapping and interactive lighting.
And
Those can turn a stage into this dynamic canvas.
yeah, it's like blurring the lines between reality and the digital world.
Right. And of course, social media is huge for choreographers.
Oh yeah, everyone's on TikTok and Instagram.
It's a great way to share your work, connect with people.
But with all this new stuff, how do you keep your own style as a choreographer?
It's a good question. And it goes back to that balance we talked about.
Yes. Staying current, but also being authentic.
Yeah, you got to use these tools to serve your vision, not the other way around.
So you might use motion capture, but only if it fits the story you're telling.
Exactly. And you might use social media, but you're not going to change who you are just to get more followers.
It's about staying true to yourself while exploring new things.
That's it.
Okay, so in the next section, we'll dive into how RoleCatcher's AI can really help you prepare for this interview.
Yeah, it's going to take your prep to the next level.
All right, so let's talk about RoleCatcher's AI, the secret weapon for interview prep.
Oh, it's amazing. It analyzes the job you want and helps you tailor your answers.
Okay, break it down for me. How does it work?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. You upload your resume and the job description.
Okay.
Then RoleCatcher's AI compares your experience to what they're looking for.
So it's like a personalized analysis telling me what skills to highlight.
Exactly. It's like a spotlight on the most important parts of your resume.
That's so cool. And it even helps you refine your answers, right?
Yep. You practice your answers to those common questions we talked about.
Okay.
And you can upload a recording or write them down and give it to RoleCatcher.
And the AI gives me feedback.
Yep. It can tell you how to improve, like maybe speak more clearly or be more concise. It can also look at what you're actually saying.
Okay.
Maybe you need to give more examples or use different words or even reframe your whole answer.
Wow. So it's like having a personal coach right there helping me get ready.
That's the goal. It's all about giving you that extra confidence.
So basically, you're walking into that interview feeling prepared and empowered.
Right. You know the role, you've practiced the questions, and you've used AI to really fine-tune everything.
But even with all that, the most important thing is to let your passion shine through.
Oh, absolutely. This is your chance to share your love for dance and what makes you unique.
Yeah, show them your skills, but also show them who you are as an artist.
So when you walk into that room, remember to breathe, be yourself, and let that passion guide you.
And that's it for our deep dive into choreographer interview prep using RoleCatcher's awesome resources.
Yep.
We covered those common questions, the career path, and how AI can take your prep to the next level.
It's all about giving you the tools to succeed.
So go out there, ace that interview, and create amazing choreography.
You got this.